I'm using personally like a small chunk of the scripts to call what I need inside the PowerShell of the cognitive services, send some data, etc., and analyze after that. Some my additionals background, it's where I'm working for, where I'm from, and you are also invited to join to my LinkedIn. You can look on the Igorsh by LinkedIn or directly to my screen. If you need some code, if you want to talk, please directly contact me by LinkedIn messaging or igorsh@outlook.com. I also have my YouTube channel where this video will be published. Whatever, let's continue, and some small additional notice about how we will work and what we will do. We will talk about the Face API inside the Azure Cognitive Services. Why we will talk about the Face API? Because when I will show you the deep dive infrastructure data and analysis of the capacity or performance, will not be so, let's say, intuitive and so understandable like a Face API. You really want to know about the forecasting for the long times, like we are doing the forecasting for the like disk spaces, or looking for some anomalous activities, etc., maybe not. But for face recognition, for this perspective, it's really to look on it, really understand, really easy to connect the data, etc. So let's start with the Face API, and I will switch to my PowerShell code. That's just a few lines that you need to work with the cognitive services at all. By the way, if it looks like so small, give me an idea. I will do the screen bigger, like this one. Maybe it will be even better. Okay, so cognitive services and work with the Face API and work with any other services is the same way, based on the API calls of the required service and function on the required service by the PowerShell. For example, if you're working with PowerShell, the script's really easy. You can see that's like I add 2 types on my script to do the easiest call of the API. Also, I have main block here. This is the main block that you need to understand, and this block will be different for different services or even different calls. But main part, this one, it's Face API key. I will change it after that, don't worry. And API location. What it means? It means that when I create any service I choose where my Face API will be created, which region? There is a list of the region that you can use. Unfortunately, we have UAE North only here in Dubai, UAE Central, but whatever, we are on UAE at all. So you can use, for example, UAE North and name and price tiering, etc. By the way, it's like offered for you two tiers by default. If you have like a free subscription or to test it, it's free F0 for 20 calls per minute, or standard 10 calls per minute. Anyway, it's demo. I already have it here. It's deployed, as you can see, for the free tier. It's a Face API. It's keys where you can get here. So it's quite easy. It's direct endpoint if you need, or location, or you can do this like this. So this is the key that was copied from the Azure. This is the API location that I have, and this is exactly the URI string that we need to use. So location, API, cognitive, Face, detect. Detect means that I am planning to call the detect session just on this function, just to understand what exactly on the picture. Default and really deep documentation about the API, Face API 1.0. You can find here, this is a detect call. As you can see, the detect call has a lot of optional parameters. That's like you need to call. So like you need to provide for the detect face ID if you want. You need to provide face landmark, etc., etc. A lot of parameters, but in reality, just only one real option that you need to provide. It's URL to your picture, or send the picture directly. So this one, it's a building this URL request for the detection with the return face ID true, yes, with the landmark, yes, with the detection model 1, with recognition model 3. All of this described detailed on the documentation, so you don't need to worry about it. Or you can send, you see, binary data, by the way. So this is the first part. I build line, plus I need also send the key like a header. And this is why I need the client here. I add the default request header with this name. It's required on the documentation. You can see the headers. Where is it? Whatever. Yeah, this should be header. Just a second. It's errors. Yeah, here, sorry. Here, this headers, if you want to call even by curl, if you don't want to work with error. If you prefer the PHP, welcome. You just need to change only this part of the line. This part of the line, that's what you need to get. Python, Ruby, whatever. A lot of documentation, again, how to work with. But anyway, I prefer PowerShell because it's our main tool to work with the Azure infrastructure, to do the scripting, etc., etc. And after that, we build default scenario. If you can see here, I build the binary array and add to the headers application octet stream. It means that I will send the data directly from my machine to the service. After that, I just call the client, post async call with builded URI and with the builded binary content. That's all. So what it means? It means that right now, application will take my file, by file path, generate the byte array and send this byte array to the cognitive services by this URI with the authentication by my API key. That's all. Most of questions about how we will parse this result. This result will be parsed like an array of the objects. I am building this to have something like a JSON file, you can see here, and JSON variable. I'm waiting for the task. I'm waiting for the task is complete. And after that, this part, I get the result from the task and convert it from the JSON to the object. Because it could be a lot of faces inside one picture, I'm going through each picture and going through the like face ID that generated by the face API. Each ID, it's like a unique for 24-hour ID of the each face, recognized face. In case if you will store it, we will discuss this after. If you store it, it will be permanent saved attributes, etc. So the next one, it's a face attributes, it's a face rectangle, and after that I add all needed parameters that I want to my object and add to the array of the object. That is easy how to work with. So right now, this script will take, let's start with the Oliver, my son picture. Run. And what we can see here, it was Face ID, again unique, smile, definitely smiling, gender male, age 4 years. What about the mustache, beard, etc.? Nothing. No glasses. Emotions, happiness, fully happiness, like a small child. Makeup, no makeup, no accessories. And after that, we can see the hair or detailed information about the hair. Here, by scrolling, it was like a face rectangle where exactly on the picture it's present, top left and the width and the side. And after that, that's more detailed information about the data that's taken by the object, because I again generate the full object to get this data. All this information again provided by the response. You can find any more details about what's going on, what is the positions, which positions, emotions, glasses, head pose, if you need additional emotions, additional hair color with confident, etc. All of this you can see, for example, the confidence of the blonde, 95%. Is it clear? Let's see on the original picture. We are working with the Oliver 1. Mostly the same, right? Like expected, a really happy child on the picture. Let's do another one. Let's change this script for next scenario. So, on this picture, you can see male, 44, smile. It's strange, but whatever. And you can see accessory type mask with confidence 99. With position, etc., etc., with the color of the hair, 97% of the gray, etc., etc. Yes. Which one? This one. Yeah, it's me, but it's a strange that the system knows that I am smiling this time, but with confidence. It's me on my apartment. You can see like how it looks like and how it should work. Originally, just to compare. Oops, sorry, it's my brother. Just for another tasks, and origin, it's me. So, as you can see, here is no any special operation or special knowledge to work with. You just need to know how to send the parameters, and you need to understand how to work with exactly the service. It's more important to understand, for example, Face API, how it will work and what you can do with this information. In reality, right now, we can say that, okay, we know that this is a male, we know about the mask, etc., etc., etc. But how we can connect this picture with the original person, how we can work with it, etc., etc. And this is the main point that you have to understand, and you have to work with the cognitive services. Any API, any cognitive services, it's okay. So it's really easy to call it. But in this case, you need to understand what are you calling and how it will work. Look, for the face, I'm using the function detect. After that, I need to understand who is this, and there should be identity. But if you will look on the identity, we will find that identity asks us about the face ID that we're receiving from the system that was recognized. But same time, we require to have the person group and a large person group to understand who is who. So before you need to create, for example, the person group, you see, you can just call the operation create with the content like a group name, user data if you need, and recognition model if you need to create this personal group. After that, you need to create the person. Where's my persons? This one. You need to create the person, name it this person as you wish, for example, like me, etc., etc., and add known pictures of this person to the person. So you need to create group, you need to create person, you need to create or add known pictures of this person to the group. After that, you need to train the group, just call the API, and after that you will know how to work with the person. In this case, this API call or next API call will work with it. So that there is no any strange, let's say, to work with the train. Look, to train the customer, I just call, or to train the group, I just call the group ID that I have and call the train method. That's all. And function will be, or group will be trained to understand which person, which one. And after that, it's really easy to go through and understand who is who by the group, by the person. Look, in this script, I am doing the same. I am just sending the data to the cognitive services, but same time, after I found the ID of the selected object, I call another function that do the recognition identity of the person from this person group. I already created it with the face ID that I found from the picture, and trying to find at least one person with confidentiality threshold like 0.5, but 0.5 it's too much. Let's say 35. I need at least one person with 35 for this group. This is like a beautiful part of the any cognitive services. We just know the model, we train the model, and after that we can call it in one line again. If we will start this script contains a lot of my picture with the different types, different scenarios. For example, like this one, where I'm in office with helmet. It was something like some advertisement, you know, or where I'm doing some presenting on 2011, sorry, or where I'm doing presenting another time, etc. Anyway, we can use any of this, and this is I think it's Berlin. Anyway, these scenarios we can use and we can compare. I was trained with my I trained this person list with my origin photo, this one, with this one from the beach, with this one from my house, Devinska in Bratislava, from barber shop. So and this one without bread. So any of this picture was used by training, and after that we can check. For example, with this picture, let's see, magazine picture that was made October 90th. Will it work or not? Oops. It's happened. It's not an issue with it's not the issue with the code, it's an issue with the PowerShell. We need to upgrade the PowerShell, but I have no chance before. Okay, let's start again. And as you can see that this face ID, the same like candidate, it's my ID inside group of the person with the confidence about 80% of the confidence. We can try to use the another one, for example, from 2004, not 14. And as you can see, the confidence of this possibility that it's me, 47% or 48%. If we will start to add additional data or add additional year, we will find that's like it's even better. Or let's start with the picture where I'm on the helmet. Oops, sorry. The confidence 55 because I am on helmet, and the helmet, like you see, it's based on the accessory. And the most interesting scenario, will it work with the mask? Yes, it will work with the mask. It finds this person, and the confidence of this will be 51%. Okay, let's do with other persons, like my brother, who looks like me on the young time. Nope. Let's do with my son, who exactly my copy. Nope. So this is the scenario how you can work with the data directly or indirectly, and how you can combine the services. But in our scenarios, we don't want to use just a script. We want to go to the Azure and want to go with the RPIs. With RPA, we need to have the script on the cloud. And that means that we can go with the function. Each of this code will be executed like a PowerShell function. So this is the same code with, as you can see, with the same parameters here, here. Wait, not the same, but whatever. We can see what we also can see here. We can see the same steps here, 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 except how we send the data to the function, because to the cognitive services. Because we are working with the data on the cloud, we can't get the files directly from the file, or the picture directly from the file. We build this body with URL that will place some files on the photo library, like this one, with the name that will send to this function like a parameter. And after that, the system will call the same. Just if you look on this part of the code, it's just only one difference here. Let's switch here. I have both of the type of the code on my script. So this is the part that sends the file from the local drive to the cognitive services. This part that sends the file, sends the request with the URL of the selected file. to the cognitive services, like just a parameter. Cognitive services will download this file. It's not a required blob of the Azure. It could be any file on any HTTP storage. After that, the script will go through and get this data directly. All of this data I just copied to the function and added this function just like a header of the function to check is it name correct or not correct, blah blah blah. Same function, same operation, same calls, and after that there's just only one difference after that I convert the results like to the JSON and send to the body, and this body returned like result of the function. Let's run. Look, the same face mask that will be sent like a body here. Run. Function triggered by the HTTP trigger, but it could be, for example, the trigger to the storage directly. We place the picture to the storage initiate the connection to the function execute and send results somewhere. You can see the same results without the comparison. So it's pretty easy, and the main idea here is that after that we can utilize this function like something like a small 8 atomic block of the another things logic application. Logic app that I have here does the really easiest and really intuitive task. It's looking for creating of the file on the OneDrive storage. Copy the selected file to the path folder of the blob. So I connected to the blob. I take the name of the file from the previous step. I take the blob content from the previous step. If you are not familiar how it looks like, look, you just can choose which data and which parameters you have. I initiate some variables named person like array to work with. I will discuss it. By the way, these steps we don't need for now. And after that, I just do the call of my Azure function and send the same request body that we saw before, like a name and the file name that I have. Function will go to the exactly this function, right? Function will go to the selected blob. I just hard-coded the path of the blob with the provided name on the body that's taken from here. It's a part of the function by default. And after that, function will return some parameters. To work with parameters, I am using the condition. I am using the first condition, that's this one, function I mean, returns the status of the code 200. If it's yes, we are going here. So function executed. We parse the body of the function from the JSON to have the object that we need. Look, this is the body, and this is all parameters that return my function. Where I take it? I took it from result of the function. right? You can put the sample here and this schema will be generated automatically. I copy and paste from when I did the debug of the function, just copy here. After that, I'm looking for the condition. Inside my function, I return status success, right? Like a field of the JSON when its task is completed. In case if task not completed, I send the status error. Or if function did not receive any parameters on the call, I send the like no name image provided and also return the error. So this is exactly inside the code, inside of the JSON file that I return. So I check again. So like first one, was the call of the function was succeeded? Yes or no? If yes, check the status of the execution. Yes. And after that, you can see for all results that was returned by the function, I do the easiest way. I send the current item and I send the accessorities like file name was preceded and status. After that, I do the second step. I parse just only the contents of the accessorities. Why? I will explain. I'm looking inside accessorities type mask with confidence more than 0.7. So this is, you can see the, let's say, easiest practical automation way how you can check, for example, on the entrance of your building, that's all people who entrance to the building with the masks. I am not interested about like the person name, etc., and their own, let's say, like personality. I'm just checking, is mask here or not? Yes or not? If yes, I collect some data and send that this person with this gender, with this age, with current item, like mask found on this face ID. I can add additional call here of the function that will recognize this face ID. So I can add second step, do you remember, right? We have second functions that could be converted to the, for example, function and return, train it and return exactly the name of the person. But I don't care about this. And after that, what I am doing, I am append just like append the data of the person who is who has the mask to the body. Otherwise, we can add this person to the list of the person without the masks, right? And after that, if the size of the array not 0, I send the list of the person who is wearing the mask. That's all. We spent like just 10 minutes to discuss how it will work, but in reality, so we have ready to use solution that will be able to work with the cognitive services, recognize the information, send this recognition to the next step. This step will be analyzed, send the emails, etc., directly to whatever, or initiate another function, call outside like a webhook, etc., to send alert that please look, there is no mask on the person. So how it will work after? After we will save this design, we will start it, we will switch it to my OneDrive that's connected, and we will use any picture. Let's start with the mask, right? Let's start with the mask. We will start with the mask, and we can see what will go on. Okay, so we can see that it's executing. It's right now executing the second condition and executed the second condition. So here we can see that file, we found that file created. We create the blob. As you can see, we initiate the variables with empty. We call the recognition like this. We got this output. You see this output, status code, headers, we don't need. We are working with the body. Do you remember the body? Status, results, and all of this information, and most important part that we are looking here. After that, we go in here because it was condition was true. We parse the next part. We parse it just only the results. We get this output. You see, we have just only the body. We don't need to have this data. We go through next condition that we found that's like a operations was succeeded, and go with each, send the first email that email was proceeded, parse the part of the data that we need with accessorities, and that's all, and look for the conditions with the mask. And mask found, we add this information to the array and send. Array was not empty, and sets one more email. So at least 3 emails I should take it. Right? Right. So like, it's another one, whatever. 3. So mask was found on this person. This is the email that sends the information. This is first, should be received first. So this is the information that we found the picture and work with picture is successful. Second one, that we found the mask first time, and the list of the objects where it was found. Unfortunately, I have no group picture with the mask, but we can find anyone, let's say, on the internet, etc., to test our procedure. But we have no time. We are quite run out of the time. And here I would like to present you additional step. That was like using the PowerShell, because for the PowerShell there is more flexible scenarios that you can use, that you can do, etc. For example, I will show you. For example, some features are not available directly on the Logic application, but it will be available for you to work with the PowerShell and functions. West Europe, let's say it will be AI boot demo. Western Europe, text, create. Let's go. It should not take a lot of time. And I will show you, it's my next part, I will show you the way how you can do the Logic application even without any code to work with the cognitive services. At first one, we need to connect on the some source. We can check the Outlook, we can check FTP, we can check event grid, whatever. We can check a lot of, so this is a trigger that will run your Logic application. OneDrive, it's already connected, so you can see. So in case if file will be found on the OneDrive, how often, which object, I would prefer to use the root, I would prefer to use the every 30 seconds, but again, it depends how much money you will pay. So this is a check, right? Second one, let's go with the storage account. To show you how easy to work with this data. So we are using the storage account, we want to create the blob. Which blob we will use? We will use the, I forgot this path, sorry. Oops, nope. I forgot the path to the blob. So, photos. We will use the photos. This one. We will use the photos. We will use the blob. You see that system provides you the required name, file name, and here file content. That's all. So the system will receive the data from the OneDrive, copy to the blob easily, and after that, what we need to do, we want to have, for example, face API, right? Sorry. Face API, you can work with the Microsoft Face API or another services. If you want to use another cognitive services, look on this. So anyone that we are talking about, text analysis, bin search, computer vision, face API, custom vision, or content moderation, or Q&A maker that was mentioned before. All of this stuff you can call directly. In any case, when you will start any object on the beginning, it will ask you connection before. So you will need to provide the same URL that we have for the connectivity, like I provided on the Bing PowerShell, and the second one, you will need to provide the ID, your key for the connection. Let's go with the Face API. Face API, what we need to do, we need to create, by the way, here it's really easy to use list of the all functions, not all, but most of the functions. For example, you can do the create the new person group. You can create the new person. You can not create the person here. You can easily create the person face by recognize that option. So we will do the first one, detect the face. To do the detect the face, we need to do the next. Oops, no. We need to do the next. We need to take the photo from the blob. We have this blob storage. This one. It's already connected, right? And we have the name of the file to get the blob exactly. So that's all. This is the face detection. Wanted to check? Let's go. After that, what we can do, we can just send email. Send email. It's more longer to look a required function than build the application itself. Send an email, sorry, my fault. Its email will be the igorsh@outlook.com. The subject of the email, hello new world without coding. Thanks. Logic, apps, and cognitive services. Whatever you want. And at the body part, what we can do, we can, for example, send the item that we found like this. And system automatically switched to the for each. Why it did this? Because inside the body, it's marked like a multi-value option, right? It could be a lot of items inside. We will work with the one item, but whatever. Save and run. And the same system, and the, let's take Igorsh origin, for example. Igorsh origin, it should start it. And send. We can look for the face. We can see that path is correct. We can see the output. We can see the body that was returned exactly the same that you have inside the API. Oh, no, sorry. Detection. It was detection. Exactly the same, like same API here. And after that, fine. So we have to receive the email. we receive it a lot of email right now, but yeah, hello, new beautiful world without the coding, and we receive our information, who is this, etc., with full details of this person. And right now we need to find that this person, it's me, correct? And it's not quite easy to do inside the designer. Why I prefer to build the functions, because it's more flexible. But even inside the logic application designer, not function in Azure with PowerShell, what I can do here, I can go to the face and say, please find person from the face. Unfortunately here, no, not unfortunately, but here I can say this. I can use the face ID from the detection phase. That's first. Here I already created Igorsh person group. Here I have the person ID that I want to know. So Igor Shestitka. This is like a quite strange situation, because inside the API, if you look on the function in the API, I don't need to, for identification, I don't need to provide who I want to identify. The solution will return me exactly the list of the possible candidates of this. You see my point, right? But on the API, they asked me to provide also the person. Is this person or not? If you don't want to do this, if we can rebuild our function from the recognition to execute just only with face ID and group. That's all. Right? Okay. So we get this one and we go to the condition and say, in case if is identical true, it's and yes, and the confidence greater than 0.53, we have to send another email that will be again to the igorsh.com with the message like strange office now, like you are sitting at home but your office camera find you, and now we can use, for example, the body of the information and it's exactly the is identical and confidence of this identification. Is it clear? By the way, please do your questions. We are a little bit out of time. This is a tool, but I have another picture. Let's use another one. Let's, for example, Divinska. It's my old picture, like 5 years ago or 3 years ago, maybe. Because last one is this one. It's a railway station near my house. That's like direct link from the Bratislava to Vienna, where I'm using, like when I need to go to the office. Needed, unfortunately, not fortunately right now. I can take metro from the marina to Karama. Okay, so we have Divinska, we have the script, and we can see that face was detected. Find the person on the text, face ID, person ID, and person ID was compared with this one with confidence 66 and 9. Okay, that's true, and it was my email. That's identical, true, blah blah blah, etc. It was wrong body, by the way. Just to understand, that's like you not need to select the options only from the last step. I need, for example, the body exactly from my recognition part. And it means that the text, I need this item that was used. And right now I will see exactly information about me. Questions? Oops, why I can't see? Strange. Oops. No questions. It was so fast, I think. Typically, this demo for 2-3 hours. I tried to pack it in 45 minutes. Looks like not. But anyway, I'm ready to answer here to answer the files, the questions. And again, if you want to contact me or need to contact me, you want to have the scripts like examples. It's okay. Just go to the LinkedIn or directly by mail. LinkedIn is preferred. Just 2. So, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Igor. We'll wait for some questions if there are any.
It's a summer trying it. Should I wait? Okay. We have like 5 minutes, summer. We have 5 minutes for the questions, etc. Until we will see next question. Okay. It was pleasure to present this solution for you. Hope it was clear and really understandable to work with. And you will be able to build your solution. Again, so it's like not only about the face recognition, but it's mostly like more visible and understandable. You can connect any service that you create inside the Azure with your connection ID, account ID, key, access, and go straight by building your application with no code or a little bit code at all. Azure Function is really powerful scenario in this step, and you can take some data, upload this data somewhere, find some correlations, some anomalous activities, some predictions, and send another information to the customer, whatever. Okay, thank you, Osama. Okay, I will give the stage for the Osama. 2 minutes. I think anyway we need to wait 2 minutes, and thank you again.
Thank you, Igor. Thank you.